Hi. Hi everybody, how are you? Today we're talking about a topic that's called anger. They say that anger is one letter short than danger. It's the same letters almost, right? Let me start with a joke.
I like that.
So there was this professor for a psychology professor, and he wanted to teach his student a lesson. So he tells them that people can sometimes annoy people, get them angry, okay, very, very fast, okay? And there's 3 types of situation that people can be on. Number 1, he gives an example. 2, he demonstrates them this thing. So he picks up the phone and he calls somebody, okay, a certain number, and he tells him, "Hello, is Michael home?" So the guy is, "No, it's a wrong number," and he hangs up the phone. So the professor tells them, this is situation number 1. He's angry that I called him. It's not the right number, but he still controls himself. Okay? He's angry. We can hear from the phone. We can hear the way he slams the phone, but he's still in control. Number 2, he calls him again. "Hello, is Michael home?" He starts telling him, "What do you want from me? There's no Michael in this day. It's a wrong number. Don't call me anymore. What do you think you are?" And again, he hangs up the phone. In this situation, says the professor, the guy starts a little bit losing his mind already. You know, he's overreacting. 3rd time, he calls the same guy, and he tells him, "Hello, is Michael home?" And he gets furious. He starts steaming out on him. He starts cursing him. He starts yelling. He starts screaming at him, and then he hangs up the phone. So this is the 3rd situation, he says. This guy disconnected himself from reality. What's the idea? Why are you so angry? So a student gets up and he says, there's a 4th situation that you didn't mention. He says, what is the 4th one? He calls the same guy. He tells him, "Hi, this is Michael. Did somebody call me and was looking for me?" Okay? What do you think now? How now he's going to react, right? How do people deal with anger? You know, the biggest obstacle today in our generation is anger. Because people have no patience to anything today. They have no patience, zero tolerance. They get upset very fast. They tend to get angry. Everybody is stressed out. You have to do things fast. You have no time to anything. Pay attention to how everything is around me. We have iPhone. We have iPad. We have iPod. Everything is around me. In Israel, they had snacks, okay? So years ago, it was with sharing. You know what's pretzels in Hebrew? Beigalach. Beigalach means to you, not only to me. Okay? They used to have kreplach and all kinds of that. Today, it's bisli. Li means me, only for me. This type and so this is what's going on today, and everybody has to fulfill my desires fast, quick, now at this point, and if not, who knows what happens. So when people get angry, they control their they put their emotions before their mind. When you're angry, you let your mouth work much faster than your brain. The mouth reacts so fast, you're not even thinking what you're saying. Then you regret, then you see the consequences. Okay? So, but this is anger. What are these disadvantages of anger? When people get angry, what could be so wrong? Okay? They say in Masechet Sotah that when somebody is getting angry in the house, for example, it's like a worm that starts to form in the sesame. When you have a sack of sesame and you start having a worm, what does the worm do? Slowly eats up everything. You don't really see it, you know? But slowly becomes more worms and more dirty, and it eats up all the good things that inside this, in that sack, it eats up. This is anger. The same way that this worm is eating up this grain, this food, so is the anger inside the house.
Wow.
So there was this young woman that got married to this very stubborn man, and he used to make her getting upset all the time. She used to get nervous from him and upset, and he was stubborn. He wanted things a certain way, and she wanted things in another way. And she used to call him names. You're a liar, you're a thief, you're, I don't know, all kind of names that she used to call him. And as time passes and pass by, and you know, there's more pressure in the house, little kids, pregnancy, this, that, she doesn't pay attention. Of course, the more pressure now in the house, she names him now next to her children.
Wow.
You know, on the long run, the same way as I told you before, the worm slowly eats up the whole bag of the sesame. The kids are very verbal now. Okay? Calling names, their friends, their siblings, their parents sometimes. Violent, nervous, okay, upset. Why? Because they got it from the house. This is anger that can destroy everything. It's so dangerous inside the house. It says a person that's angry, his wisdom, if he was smart, his wisdom disappears from him. How do we learn it? Moshe Rabbeinu was the biggest prophet that we ever had, and that there will ever be, right? We cannot really talk about Moshe Rabbeinu because he was really great. It's not up to us to talk about his greatness. He was really special. He was in heaven for 3 times, each time 40 days. He's like an angel. He saw angels. Hashem spoke with him himself. Hashem showed him and taught him and was really very much in a high level than all of us. And even Moshe Rabbeinu, as the leader of Am Yisrael in the desert, he was angry at the Jewish nation. He was angry, and when he was angry, he made a mistake. It says that at this time of anger, okay, he was angry at them from stupid reasons. I mean, instead of talking to the rock, okay, he hid it. Because why? Why? Because of that, Hashem punished him. Hashem said that he is not going to get into Israel. And you say to yourself, what is so severe? A miracle was done. The rock brought out water, he did. So why he cannot go to Israel because of that? All his life he gave himself to the nation. He did everything. And so Hamaral explains something interesting. He says, why the person gets angry? When you, let's say you're raising a child, and this child, in a way, is stupid, doesn't understand. So whenever you have the hope, whenever you believe in him, and you try to teach him, and you try, and still have the hope, you're great, everything is good. But once you lose hope, and you say, oh, you're stupid, and you will always stay stupid, this is when you get angry, because you don't believe that the situation will change. Moshe Rabbeinu, because he was so much closer to angels, to Hashem and everything, he didn't understand why they complain so that there's no water. So big deal that there's no water. Why do they complain about these stupid little things? And he got angry because he believed that They cannot change. They will always stay small people. They're stuck in the desert. They won't be able to go further because of their actions, because of their complaining, and he got angry over there. So even big people, they get angry. It says that the anger is the sickness of big people. Why? Because they have so much ambitions. They believe in so much. They want, and when they get stuck and it doesn't go because their friends laugh at them, don't believe in them, their siblings, their family or whatever, they make fun of them. So, then they get angry because things don't go the way that they want. Another disadvantage of anger, it says hakas, that the anger, it shortens people's life. When people get angry, what exactly happens to them in their body physically? What happens?
Choking.
Blood pressure goes up.
Sometimes they're choking.
Heart disease.
They choke.
Sweating,
Heart
sweating.
disease, right?
They're sweating.
They sweat. Their heartbeats go so fast, right? It start
Too much
developing.
adrenaline.
Right. Start developing all kind of problems with their heart, and they say even that the arteries, they start shrinking at the time of anger, and this is what it leads to angina factories. And that's very painful. That people suffer from this. Sometimes these arteries, they are blocked, and people can die, God forbid. We mentioned the heart, the blood pressure. We mentioned they say that the red blood cells increase very much and too much. Sometimes the muscle of the stomach also shrink. People cannot digest their food because they're so upset, they're so angry, they're so furious, aggravated. And see how people can damage themselves when they get angry. What about the mental health? How people can get mentally ill because of constant anger all the time. Okay? The Ramchal that I mentioned here before, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, he mentions that there are 5 levels at this this anger. Number 1, this one that gets angry of things that it looks like people do against him. And a lot of people, sometimes I have brides or some people that come to consult, in the marriage or whatever. I'm not an angry person. He just makes me angry. Right? Very common thing. And כל הכועס, it says, כאילו עובד עבודה זרה, like he's worship idols. How come when somebody is getting angry, it's like he's worshiping idols? That's something that says the Rambam in Chodel. And then it says also, כל הכועס, אפילו שכינה אינה חשובה נגדו. The presence of Hashem, he doesn't care about the presence of Hashem. He cares, he humiliates, he exaggerates very much in his reaction. He doesn't care that who is over there. Even if Hashem is there, he doesn't care. And it says, המקרב בגדיו בחמתו. If somebody, because he's so aggravated and so upset, he tears his clothing because he's upset. Or he breaks dishes because he's so upset. Or he wastes money because he's upset. שיהיה בעיניך כאילו הוא עובד עבודה זרה. Because this is the art of the Yetzirah, the evil inclination. The evil inclination makes you do these things. You know who you are? How come he spoke to you this way? You're not entitled. What do you think? What does he think? And this is the first one. Second one, this person is not really getting upset on every stupid thing that people say next to him, but whenever he gets upset, he gets upset. Everybody around feel it. They hear it. The neighbors, everybody. And okay, this type of person. Number 3, he doesn't get angry often, but he also doesn't forget and doesn't forgive. He remembers. He can remember forever, or you can remember forever something that someone said to you 25 years ago. And women, they remember things. Number 4, kashe lichos. He doesn't get angry very fast. He controls himself. This with Bezat Hashem we're going to learn next time. How do people hold themselves? How they control themselves? And number 5 are people that are never angry. Like Hillel HaZaken was a very, very special man. How much people were trying to get him angry? Okay, nobody bothered him, and special man. Okay.
Coming.
That's very good. That's me.
And I envy that person.
God bless you. You heard about Genghis Khan?
Yes.
Genghis Khan, yeah.
Yes.
He lived in where? Mongolia, right? He was a great
Moria.
He went from town to town. He had a lot of power. He was a very cruel man. He conquered a lot of places. He killed people. He didn't care. He had one good friend that was going with him everywhere he was going, and it was his hawk.
Wow.
You know, it's a special bird that he had always going with him everywhere. So one time he was riding his horse, riding. He's in the desert. He's so tired. He's so hungry, and he's so thirsty. And they come to a place, and there's no water. He's like trying to look, but he hears some drops of water. He hears. He tries to see what is in there. He saw that there's a huge rock. He cannot really say, but some water drips from this rock. So he took a cup of water, a cup that he had, and he puts, and slowly, it fills up with water. Once he had a nice amount of water, and he wants to take it and drink it, his hawk comes, okay, and spills everything to the ground. He got so upset at him. Okay, happens. Another time he puts his cup there, and he waits, I don't know, half an hour for this to fill up. Another he comes, another time, and spills everything. He got so upset. When the third time he did that, he took his sword and stabbed him and killed him. Then he said to himself, wait a second, this hawk was my best friend. Why did he do that? He was trying to search and find out why. He saw that on the other side of this rock, there was this source of water. He looked inside and he saw a poisonous snake inside. The hawk saw it, and he was trying to protect him, was trying to save him, trying to tell him, don't drink this water, don't drink this water. He didn't listen, and because he was angry, he was furious, he was upset, he killed him. Now he regrets, but whatever happened, right?
Too late, right?
The biggest test of anger is in our house. In the house, there's so many obstacles, there's so many mistakes that people do. So many times people can fall. And the Yetzer Hara, even inclination, is trying to fail us again and again. Even though yesterday he wasn't able, again he comes to you or tries to fail you now. You know, once it will be with your mother-in-law, once it will be with your sister, one will be with your neighbor. It doesn't get tired, this evil inclination. And so, but it depends how we respond. Let's say you get up in the morning, very, very typical scenario. Wake up in the morning, you have to take your kids to school, okay? You make them prepared, you prepared already your breakfast and their breakfast and everything. Your daughter, 5 or 6-year-old daughter, sat too close to you and she spilled, by mistake, all this coffee on your shirt. You get upset. I'm going to be late to school now. What's going to happen? And you scream at her, why weren't you careful? And she starts crying because she didn't intend to, and she didn't really, and then now she hears all these cries because she is crying and crying, and she wasn't able to finish her breakfast. She didn't finish her breakfast. You meanwhile go to change. Until you come back, you saw that she missed her school bus. Now you have to take her. You take her to school, and meanwhile you see that she's angry and she's upset. You will drop her in school a little bit late. Now you're going to your own work. Once you reach your day, because you were driving too fast, policeman caught you, you didn't stop on a stop sign, gave you a ticket, you're getting there, you saw that because you were in a hurry, you forgot your bag, or you forgot your phone, or you forgot something, and the whole day goes wrong because you started with this response.
Chain reaction.
Okay? What happens if we would change it a little bit? Because the truth is that in life, 10% is whatever really happens to you, and you have no control on whatever happens to you. You didn't know that she's going to spill it on you. You couldn't control it. But 90% of whatever happens is in your control, how you react. If you wouldn't react this way, you would tell her, honey, it happened, just next time be careful. You would go and change, you would finish her food, she would go to the school bus on time, and you didn't have to drive her and everything. All your day, they would just smile to you, everything will be so great. But because of this reaction, okay, because of this response, everything started wrong that day. Okay? So it's up to us now. Now you may think, what did make it? Is it the policeman that made you respond this way? Is it your daughter that made you respond? Is it the coffee that made you respond? Or is it you that made? It's us. You have to start controlling your mouth, okay? Thinking first and then reacting, okay? And once we do this, it's so much better. How do we deal with anger? In one of the schools, there was a big fight among the students. They were fighting, they were calling each other names, they were, the whole big thing over there. One humiliated the other, one got calling names, cursing, all kind of stuff. And the teacher wanted to calm them down, was very hard for him. When he saw that he cannot calm them down, he told them, okay, so you have homework for tomorrow. What is this homework for tomorrow? Every one of you has to take a plastic bag and fill it up with potatoes. Okay? And you have to bring it to school, and tomorrow I'll tell you what to do with these potatoes. So they all take these plastic bags with the potatoes, they bring it to school, and in school the teacher tells them, now concentrate on all the insults that your friend insulted you. Okay? Concentrate on them. Think about them. They start thinking about this. They feel in a way embarrassed, but they start really thinking and remembering the way that this one called a name, or he cursed him, or he cursed his father, he cursed this, and each potato would be for each person that insulted. So he has to write on the potato the name Joseph, the name Benjamin, the name Jacob, all these names that insulted him on these potatoes. That the teacher says you have to take these potatoes and carry it everywhere you go, with all these names of these people who insulted you. Every place you go, you have to take it with you. Remember what happened to you. For 2 weeks, poor people, poor kids, take this bag of potatoes everywhere that they go. Now, when you take these potatoes out of the refrigerator, and it's in the heat, and it's in the summer, let's say, what happens to them? They get smelly. There's too much moist and stuff, make them even drop some water, and it's stinking, and they're heavy also. They take it everywhere, and they feel the weight. After 2 weeks, the teacher tells them, see what happens to you when you carry the load with you everywhere. It makes life so much harder. Instead of forgetting, instead of forgiving, putting it in the side and continue on, you keep holding this grudge, this anger, these feelings, these negative feelings about your friends every place you go. Isn't life much more harder now? So, to avoid anger, what are the suggestions that we have to avoid anger? Number one, it's very important to sit and learn. There's certain books that you can learn how to work on your qualities, how to work on your anger. Books like Ochot Tzadikim, books like Igeret Ramban. The Ramban, the Nachmanides, he wrote a letter to his son. Tells him there, I wanted to bring it and I forgot. Tells him over there how to be patient, how not to speak in a loud voice, how to be kind person, how to, always think yourself that you are humble, that, and once you think this way, you don't think you think, who am I, who are you, and stuff like that. That's number one. Number two, he says, how do we control anger? So there was this woman that was working, I don't know, let's say in a salon, okay? She arranged with her husband that day that he is going to pick up their son from daycare because she has a lot of clients today, a lot of customers, and they will come the whole afternoon hour. She's going to be very, very busy, and she asked him if he can do it. He said, okay, I'll do it. 3:45, he calls her and he tells her, I'm sorry, I'm in a meeting and I won't be able to do it.
At least he calls.
Huh?
At least he calls.
But now it's like 10 minutes late. They were supposed to be picked up at, 3:40, 3:30, something like that. And he's already late, and now he calls her and tells her, I cannot leave, and you have to go and do it. And she's like, he starts to steam out. How come? He never appreciates me. He doesn't know that I'm busy. I told him in the morning. I told him in advance. We made a deal. We made an agreement. And how come? And she starts getting upset at him. And last time he did it also. And I don't know, whatever comes into her mind. And instead of being practical, calling maybe to her sister, maybe she can do it. Maybe call to, I don't know, a friend, a neighbor that can do it. Instead, she started thinking and rethinking about all the other times.
She wastes time.
All the other times that he did this to her, and how he doesn't care, and how she cannot trust him, and how. And but then, what happened? Her client, her best client came in. She didn't expect it. She's this client that pays her the best tips. Now, what was the attitude? Hello, how are you? Come sit down. It's a beautiful day. Can I serve you this? Can I serve you that? Hello, where's your anger? A minute ago, you were steaming. You were angry. You want to know how people, when they're angry, how they look like? Look at this. Anyway, it's a children's book, but look how people, when they're angry, how they look like. You can see that.
You sent me today. You sent me today.
But yeah, that is upset.
I showed everybody.
So, if you want, it looks like you can control your anger. You can all of a sudden show that you're smiley, that you're, and it also influences your mood. You really become happy because she's here, and she'll tell you very good now, and you chat with her and everything.
It's not her fault.
Huh?
It's not her fault. She came.
Number two, think a little bit. So, what's going to be after you get angry? How are you going to, if you think a little bit, what's going to be afterwards, you can control yourself too. Look at this amazing story. Danny, he was a truck driver. Well, from young age, he really wanted to be a doctor. But his grades were not the best in school, not in high school, and his parents could not afford higher education. So he ended up being a truck driver. And he's a very, very upset person, angry person of everything. Because of him, whatever he went through, because of the fact that he's upset at himself, that he never became a doctor, he never progressed in life, he stays stuck in the same job for years, and that's what he's doing. He sits high on his on his truck, looks from high to people and gets upset. Why there is traffic? Why it's not moving? Why is it hot today? Why? Every time when he comes back from work to his house, he has to get into to this tiny narrow street that he lives to park his huge truck. He honks, he's shouting and screaming because he has to make sure that he can go through all these cars that are parked in the sideways. And everybody knows when he comes because he honks, everybody sees and hears that he's there. Until he's getting into his driving, until he's parking, until he makes everybody, people are sometimes afraid to park next to him. They rather park on the other street, in the other place, and not to be next to him because they're afraid of him. As much as his wife was trying to talk to him, as much as family, his parents, nothing helps. He's this type of a person. One day, he really had a tough day. He gets to work very late because of all these traffics. He gets there, his boss was late himself. The whole job was late. He had to work in the middle of this heat, and it wasn't easy, and this and that. And then the way back home, with full of traffic and everything, when he gets to his tiny little street, gets closer to his parking place, he sees a car parking there. A Mercedes, beautiful new Mercedes, sparkling new. And he got so upset. It's like this Mercedes looks at him and he says, "Look at me, look at you." And he got so upset. Who dares do such a thing? What a chutzpah people have putting their car in my spot. In his furious, in his upset, his truck was having, these trucks with the cement. He took the leftover of the cement and put it on top of this brand new Mercedes car. He gets up to his apartment and he opens the door. Surprise! All his family gathered up. 50th birthday. His father was there. His mother was there. Siblings were there, best friends were there, his kids were there. So what do you say about the new car in your driveway? What car? Okay? This is when you learn a lesson in the hard way. Okay? In the hard way. So, yeah, he lost control and he lost it all. Now, so what do we do? When you get into, you're afraid you're going to be angry now, make some tricks not to get angry. Trick number 1, get out of this place. Outside, fresh air a little bit, Trick number 2, delay your response. They all say count till 10, go wash your hands, do something, decide that you're going to react in half an hour or so.
That's what I do. I can't wait for somebody.
Right, special people have a special code or a special box that they would open to get angry. No, this delay will count them down and make the response be less stronger than they intend to.
What about, sorry, I have an example of my situation. You go into the house, being a therapist, 3, 4 kids surrounded by you, they're like all over you. You work on yourself every time you come here, 2, 3 times a week. The mom is on top of your head, the father's on top of you, argument, while I'm treating. Every week is the same story. It's over and over, and you're like, I can't. I'm gonna burst right now. It's just impossible sometimes.
So as a teacher, you come to a classroom.
Because you go to the house where all 3 kids have a disability, or they have a behavioral issue, and you would expect to go into the house for the parents to respect you in return, by taking their child away from you.
Right, you're not expecting these things
Yeah,
anymore.
you're like,
you
okay,
don't expect
it's
these
6
things.
o'clock, like, okay, this is my last energy. Like,
Take some vitamin B or something to relax you. I don't know, because you need to get relaxed as you get to
I get coffee.
No, that's the more.
coffee. It's
You eat chamomile.
Actually, no, I don't know,
You
just
eat
something,
chamomile.
just to get that extra
Coffee,
energy
it's
to
milk.
tolerate it.
okay.
If I don't take it, I'm like,
You said to yourself, okay, it's the last patient.
that's what I say,
Okay,
last
so
patient.
in
but
5
then-
minutes I'm going to
And
be
the
out. But
best one,
meanwhile,
that's
you have to
wonderful.
give 100% of you
Right.
because you need to give them a service. And once you expect that it's not going to be easy, sometimes it's easy in a way. B'ezrat Hashem, next time I will talk about how to really work on the patience. Till now we're just talking about anger.
Have to not be
Very
angry.
patient.
Yeah.
Next time, B'ezrat Hashem, about patience, right?
Yeah.
How to work on patience, and I will refer
That's
to
very
this thing because I
interesting,
have a special example for that, for this
Good.
thing.
I mean, I asked the mom, I was like, do me a favor, go to the kitchen. I will do my job.
So when you're there to say that, you know what, I
I
need
did.
some time alone.
I was like,
and you're
I did, and I even told the father, I was like, do you mind taking your son? And, go whenever you have
Another
to go.
another thing to help here, punish yourself or reward yourself when you see that you were able to work on yourself.
That's the best. I'm not eating because I have too much anger. Hungry. And I hate when I'm hungry. I like eat.
Then you're gonna get more angry.
No, you know what?
Right, there could be all kind of reasons
Yeah.
why you're getting angry. I didn't get to there yet, but there are sometimes you're sometimes you're hungry, sometimes you're tired, sometimes all kind of situations. Once you know what is the reason that you got angry, try to work on it. So,
Yeah.
very famous thing, Friday afternoon is a very typical time for getting angry because you have to do so much, and there's not so much time. But if you work ahead of time and you try to to divide the work, you do some things on Thursday. You make other
That's-
people help you too.
Yeah, that
Everybody
makes
does
sense.
their share, and you try to work on yourself not to get angry. And whoever was able to do it nice today, the work, they will get ice cream in the end or something like that. It works nicely. It works nicely.
I make ta'ana, dibur, especially on the Shabbat when you all